That's crazy. Alright, so here's the deal. I wanted a boat. I wanted a sailboat to live on. I think I've found the one. It's pretty solid. Throughout this, I'll show you guys clips of me touring said boat. But it was a boat that was listed for $20,000. It's 34 feet, just over that, like 34.11. It's a great looking boat. It's got everything that I want, which for me, my main things were I wanted to have a table in there because I want to use the boat to actually complete work from, and to do that I need a table. This one actually has two. It has a charting table that I'm able to use to like spread maps out and chart my route or plan my route. And then it has the actual kitchen type table, which is cool, and it's a very large one with seating all around it. It's something that will work great for hosting and having friends on the boat, having a little dinner party, different things like that. It also has like this thing that folds down. I can't really explain it too well, but in there it's got like wine glasses and different things, and the table obviously folds up, so it creates like a big open hangout area where there's some chairs on the other side. There's a lot of seating in it. The other big thing that I really like about it, and I wasn't looking for by any means, this one has a closed off second room, which is cool, and it has like in there a little dresser area. Yes, it's small, but it's very functional. It's awesome to have friends on there and give them a place to stay that's not just like, hey, sleep on this chair or sleep on this couch. So I'm pretty happy with that and wasn't looking for that. I was gonna check out the hull. I wanted to dive down and get a good look at it. As I'm getting ready to get on the boat owner's wife, which I was there with a broker and the owner, and then the wife had got off and then left when we started looking at it. But she got off and saw my mask and she's like, oh, I don't know if I'd get in here. And I'm like, why? And she's like, oh, there's sharks. Well, I don't care about sharks. Like, that's fine. I've been around them. She's like, there's also gators. And it's kind of something I don't hear a lot. I know there's gators. I grew up on a river with tons of gators, but never really worried too much about them. But then as they're like kind of showing me the outside of the boat, showing me some of the rigging, different things like that, I hear this noise behind me and it sounds like something rolled off the boat behind us. And I hear the splash, so I'm looking for it, and I realize, oh my gosh, there's like a 10, 12 foot gator or something like that, and it's massive. And at that point I decided there's no way I'm gonna go look at that hole. They said they got it cleaned by a diver who specializes in diving in alligator infested water, but yeah, that's something that I wasn't ready to deal with. So I was just gonna take their word for it, and really I was assuming that I had to bottom paint it soon anyways, get it down, get the blisters off, and then repaint from there. So I'm expecting a project. The boat floated though, I can say that. Other than that, it does need some rigging to be replaced. We couldn't raise the mainsail because it was a little windy, but all that I was assuming that I'd probably have to replace. But as far as like the bones of it, like it had running water already. The toilet didn't have any problems. It had a good size holding tank. It had some of the key things that a lot of boats that I've looked at before, which this is probably boat number 8 or 9. It had things that those boats were all lacking. So it became a boat that I just loved. And on the inside, like, it feels like you're on a sailboat. It feels like you see the wood everywhere. You see this beautiful shelving that I haven't seen. As far as storage goes, there's a ton of storage. But it had this like shelving that I could put books on, I could put camera equipment, I can put notebooks, I can store a lot of different things, maybe even have decorations in there. And then in the kitchen it had something else that I've wanted, which was a gimbal stove and oven. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the one that they have, mostly because I'm not certain it works. I think I'm going to do a couple of things to this early. I'm gonna definitely upgrade the kitchen area, the countertop. It's pretty gnarly looking. It just looks worn. It looks like you're on a 30-year-old boat, which we are. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to take that, get it out, and we can really upgrade that in a nice way. And then the cushions just look outdated. They scream 90s, and those are a pretty simple upgrade as well. So let's talk price. They were asking $19,900. They might have had 99 more dollars on there. I don't know. Either way, I wasn't trying to pay $20,000 for a boat that I didn't feel like was ready to go day one. It is appraised at a lot more, according to all the specs and everything. This is a $20,000+ boat, and that's awesome, but still not what I could pay. So I offered 10. They came back at $13,880, and I just kind of walked away from it. It wasn't the deal for me. But then after like a week or so, this is when I went up to Indiana. When I did that road trip, early into the trip, I found out that, okay, they came back at $10,700. $10,700 was a very fair price, so we just accepted it, and that was awesome. That means the boat is theoretically mine. And yeah, after the $10,700, there's a lot of fees in there with getting it documented properly and getting the title in my name. There's some broker fees, but it came out to about $12,400 that I would owe. And that's fine, that's doable, that's in a good, healthy range for me. But this is now, shoot, probably a month to 6 weeks later, and I still am not living on this boat. Problem. Here's the problem. So I bought a boat, but I have to close on the boat. And that should be a simple process, I think. Haven't really done it before. But here's the problem. The previous owners, they bought a boat. I guess had a lien against it because it was on a slip that it was supposed to stay in, and then the bank screwed up and the bank put the lien against the boat itself. So now 18 years later, when they're trying to sell the boat, I can't necessarily buy the boat yet because the title's not clear. So Coast Guard says gotta get clear title. Well, that takes time. I'm trying to live on boat. Previous owner has some health situations and needs his bills paid, so he needs the money. So right now, I don't necessarily own the boat that I'm now paying for. If you don't know, a lien is basically another party, in this case a bank, is trying to hold it as collateral for a loan. And the loan, through a lot of research, I guess was on a boat slip that he bought. He didn't know, or says he didn't know, that the boat was being used as collateral, so he was not able to sell it to me. The problem is that that bank no longer exists. He had a satisfaction letter on the loan, but it doesn't necessarily state that the boat is free and clear. So the Coast Guard said, Chris Lotane cannot own the boat yet. Well, that sucks. So what holds it back is getting a satisfaction letter. Well, that bank shut down for fraud, amongst other things, and their assets were all sold. We found the bank that bought the assets from them, got a hold of them. They didn't necessarily have the lien for this, so it was with the FDIC, and the FDIC is now who we're waiting for a letter of satisfaction from, and it'll become a little bit of a legal process that we're ready to go through if we have to. But pretty much I can't take this boat. I was going to take it contingent on that going through and live on it in the meantime, but maritime attorney told me, no, that's stupid, you're completely at risk and this should never happen. So it didn't happen, we didn't let it happen. But yeah, that's kind of my situation right now. I have agreed to buy a boat that I can't yet have. Yeah, and they want this to go through as bad as I do, so everyone's working on it, but yeah. Originally we were supposed to be living on this boat early in October, and now we're well into November, and this is not an ideal situation, but I think it's going to be worth it in the long run waiting for this boat instead of just walking away from this deal and trying to get another one that I like this much, because in that price range I'm getting a lot more boat and a lot more quality than anything else. at that last paper that I had to sign, like that was supposed to be the point of like, okay, this boat's no longer touched or anything, and then now it's a problem where it doesn't start. Like at least I could have got it out of the marina and then possibly fixed everything on my own, but now it's at a point where if I start it, I'm going to overheat the engine and kill a lot more than I need to.
Yeah, I agree with you. They do. They have to. He never should have dug into that thing like that. So I will. I'll just flat out tell Kate that's got to be put back. That's got to be. They got to have the mechanic put back together because it has to be back into the condition it was when you signed the acceptance.
Basically, big news is boat's gonna happen. I was told that the FDIC is getting their papers sent to them within 3 days, saying that the lien has been satisfied. And once that happens, I can legally be the owner according to the Coast Guard. So I'm really reducing my stuff and getting everything into storage and making sure that I'm able to move onto the boat as soon as I possibly can. So supposedly I finally get the boat.
Wait, really?
Yeah, please. Thank you. Yeah, I guess next week I'm supposed to have it.